good evening, ladies and gentlemen. We are back with another banger, and this is your boy Mossberg. It is another Wednesday, and we are back with the 614 Ben. And you see the screens. It's an extra screen this week, and don't be surprised if you see more screens coming into the stream. And as I said, we are back with another banger, and I got the homies with me. And as we gonna go from the 614, and we gonna bend that air and we're gonna go on over to South Bend and we're gonna introduce my man post game of post game sports. How's it going this evening, boss?
Man, everything is beautiful and swell. I appreciate you having me tonight, my brother T1. What's up? A lot of NBA draft news going on. I'm excited about these young rookies coming into the league and trying to etch their name into history.
Yes, sir. And we also got our man. He got many names, but tonight we gonna call him City League TV because we see that badge swinging and he driving and he's on a mission. And it is great to have you this evening. T1, City League TV. How are you doing this evening, boss? It's good to see you in the building.
I'm doing great, man. Good to see my brothers, man. I be trying not to miss them, man. I be missing out on some bangers, losing track of time. I was actually in here early,
Yes,
so
sir.
I'm in the building. Good to see y'all, fellas.
Yes, sir. And when I seen that text, man, I said, "Oh yeah, we gotta hurry up and get into this banger." And we are here tonight, ladies and gentlemen. And we want to thank everyone, and we also appreciate everyone for tuning in this evening and be a part of the 6-1 band with you guys. And we here talking NBA draft reaction thoughts from round one, and we also have round two that's coming on tonight. So throughout the stream, we'll be giving you a little updates here and there. You know, we got a hometown hero, as we gonna call him, that's etched his name into the NBA. We got so many things to talk about tonight. When you talk about NBA draft class 2006, you know, you think about that LeBron, you think about that D Wade, you think about Melo, you think about Bosh, you think about, Milicic. You got to say those guys in that top five of that year because this draft we seen last night and the continue of it tonight is going to be something special. And I think these guys are ready to etch their name in the Hall of Fame, as some will say early before they even hit the floor, and some will be having great careers as well as we dive into what we'll be seeing throughout the next years. And I'm gonna come to you, Postman, first. What's your thoughts so far on this 2026 NBA draft we've seen so far?
Exciting, brother. I've been very excited. A little bit surprised about the guard order, I must say. I thought that A Cuff should have went ahead of Brown. I don't have a problem with Keaton Wagler going before A Cuff because I think his upside is just so stupendous. Um, so those are some of the keys that I saw from the draft last night. I was surprised. I didn't think that the Dallas Mavericks would take the Michigan Wolverine they took first,
Yeah,
but that says a lot about the player because we all know his head coach is now the head coach of the Dallas Mavericks. That says a lot when your head coach picks you out of those three bigs that they took from Michigan that were drafted last night. So a lot of surprises. The trend you're kind of seeing due to the Spurs, Oklahoma City Thunder, New York Knicks, is teams kind of loading up on guards.
yes,
That's one
sir.
thing that I noticed about the draft last night. So it's going to be interesting, my brother.
Yes, sir. And we're gonna come right to you, T1. And we appreciate you tuning in this evening. We got our man Parlay Poe in the building. And he said, "What's up, fellas? Michigan 3 lottery picks, go blue, and no Leroy. First time seeing you in here, 5163. We appreciate you tuning in as well this evening. What's your thoughts on this 2026 NBA draft so far? T1, City League TV, man, the many hats, Ask Somebody podcast. I mean, you got so many names, and I see you rolling, but we're going to get right to your thoughts. What you saying to us this evening, boss?
Now we know that this was one of the it was deep in talent. So I'm more interested to see how all of this talent that we talked about leading up to the draft is how they going to produce out there when they get to the big league, which is the NBA. So I'm more interested in seeing how these players are going to step in, especially the top 5, top 10, top 15, or even if you just want to say the whole first round. I want to see how they're going to help these teams that drafted them. So I'm more interested in the outcome of these draft picks than anything.
Yeah, I totally agree, man. For me, watching this NBA draft, man, shout out to Parlay Poe for the call. We apologize for not being able to come to you all yesterday evening, respectively, watching the NBA draft. But we're going to come to you and we're going to kick it with you for a while tonight on the 614 Ben as round 2 is kicking off. But for me, man, it was good for Parlay Poe to pick me up, texting and talking with post game, all the way in South Bend and seeing T1, City League TV, up close and personal out there with Big Ron as well, the big Michigan fan. So it was a good thing that we all was out there. And we was at the Dalen Swain party, at the Pure. That was something special, being there to watch this young man continue on, a lifelong dream of making it to the NBA. So for me, it was special seeing that young man get drafted, along with seeing this top 5. You talk about Darren Peterson. Of course, we all know my guy. I'm going to get to him last. And you talk about Caleb Williams. You talk about Caleb Wilson, Cam Boozer along with him. And then you talk about Keaton Wagler. But my guy, AJ DeBansa. I'm not going to cut the chase. Seeing him, prepare for this draft, way from high school, seeing him at BYU, the workouts, everything. I think this draft class in all is something special. And to have a player like AJ DeBansa in this draft class, along with the 614, Dalen Swain kid, straight out of Afrocentric, straight from Columbus, Ohio, I think it's special. When you look at everyone else as well, you have Burries, one of Post guys over at Arizona, and we're going to get to those thoughts on everyone's guys as well, along with the kids from Fleming's, from Houston. And like you said, Marez Johnson, a big man from Michigan, and seeing him go to Dallas was a good thing, getting back with your coach. And I think a lot of people really, if you go back and look at his season, I think he was a man amongst boys. If you really go look at his whole tape throughout the season. So seeing a lot of these players get drafted rightfully where they were picked at, some was, people thought about, but I think respectably, they were drafted where they needed to be and fit with the right teams to where this NBA can continue to break barriers. We could see history and we could see some of these players continue to grow and develop outside of some of the things we've seen in the past. No disrespect, but I think this draft class will be some draft class that'll be special 5 years from now, 10 years from now. We'll still be talking about this draft class. And, I'm going to come. Any other thoughts on that before we get out of here with that question from anybody?
No, I was just going to say, and that's what you just said, like you saying that this is going to be a special draft class. And that's what I'm looking forward to seeing, because, a lot of times players are just special in college. And a lot of times everybody don't pan over when they hit that NBA. So, and it was just a whole lot of talk about how much talent was in this class. And we've seen a lot of talent come in the NBA. So that's, like I said, that's interested in seeing is how this talent is really going to pan out.
Yeah. And shout out to Anthony Manzano, man, 35511 back in the chat, coming right at you with your questions. Timmy 18188, we see you, man, and we appreciate all the love that we get in the comments. Make sure, like Post Game said, you smash that like button, you hit that subscribe button. Mossberg Level Up Sports 10, you got Post Game Sports 86, you got City League TV in the building. And he said, hey, Post Game, coming straight at you, what guards in the second round that are available in this draft are great fits for the Heat culture, which means they want good to great scoring and great defenders combination. And before you get to that, man, I just want to say shout out to you, Mr. Manzano, big Miami fan, and you always in here as well. And I'm gonna get to you, Timmy, with your questions and your comments and thoughts, man. We appreciate you. What you got to say to him about that one post game?
Yeah, I mean, it all depends on who's going to be available when they pick. I think Time 18188 made a great point with Malik Thomas from Arkansas. A couple other guards that are available in the draft as we start the second round are Braden Smith and where's the other guy I put?
Isaiah Evans.
It's Isaiah Evans. I'm sorry. Isaiah Evans, Braden Smith, Malik Brown. There's a few guards that can help the Miami Heat out big time in this draft. You know, I think more so than, earlier years, we're seeing these guys come out. It don't matter if they were first round or second round picks and are having great impact on these teams that draft them. So I'm excited for the second round, bro. And there are a lot of guards in this draft yet that can help Miami out. I know they're gonna need a lot of guard help moving forward.
Shout out to
and I like to pick back. Go ahead.
Nah, you good. Go ahead. You good, man. All thoughts is good.
Shout out to Timmy. We gotta give Timmy a shout out because that's a great thing that you do, Moss. Make sure that we tuning in with the people who tuning in. So big shout out, Timmy. But like from what I'm saying and off of what post game just said, like I could really see, I can see one of these guards having a perfect opportunity with going to Miami and being able to be, a bigger impact than one of those first round guards.
Yes, sir.
I could see that because that'd be a great position, and if Miami can strike gold with that pick on one of these guards, they'll be in a great position to make a big impact on their team immediately.
Yes, sir. I agree. And that Timmy 18188, man. When I say you've been locked in with us, man, since we came on this 614 band with the name change is crazy because we gotta definitely, like you said, City League shout out. He said WTP Sports respect, take a standing ovation. This is why we do not need that four-letter word network where everybody is saying the same thing. No one has their own opinion. It's Monkey See, Monkey Do on ESPN, man. Shout out to you, my brother. Make sure you go send email to website WTPsports.com, WTPsportsnews.com, because we definitely want to connect with you. We want to personally bring you on a show. We want to give you even more flowers personally, bring you on, have one of those conversations with Mossberg as well. And as we continue on with what we speaking on, as we see in the comments come in, Miss Robin Williams, we appreciate you tuning in and all the support as well from you. I looked at you growing up and watching you as I worked over at the Great STEM Academy in those after school days as well. And he said, I like that Philadelphia pick. Keep an eye on that guy with that Philadelphia pick. And who was at that Philly pick? Because I know I couldn't remember the name, but they did make a great pick in that selection in that first round.
Line.
Yeah. And I was hoping that WTP Sports dudes, because I had him wrote down and I was going to ask him some questions on that line pick. And my thoughts on that was, are they switching to, a faster pace? What's going on with Embiid? As we see, Manzano said New York has made a trade, coming into that second round as well. And yes, Malik Thomas from Arkansas, half of the great backcourt is going to be pretty good. Pro great size at 6'5". I think whoever get Malik Thomas is going to be, I think he's going to be just a gift because that's a special talent. And you're only going to see so much improvement, just my opinion from Malik Thomas. I mean, great player. And you're talking about a lot of one and done players that we've seen this year that, and if you think about the past years, there's been a lot of one and done players, but they really haven't lived up. But I think this year, you're going to see second-round players that's one and done that live up to the hype and more, that become all-stars in their early years, even faster than some others, not being switched and flipped around with teams, maybe being that piece that a team need in a two-way player in a wing that we have seen that's very high in this draft class. If you're a two-way, you know, that adds more polish and more upside to your draft stock as well. And other things that, you know, anyone could think about before we go to the next question, when we think of some of these other players, like a Phylon that's went to Philadelphia. You know, I think about the big Reed that went to OKC. You know, I noticed OKC's made some moves with bigs. I know that San Antonio has made moves picking bigs. Any thoughts post game? And then I'm gonna come right to you, City League, on that as far as in those things being made, because we did speak on ways that team need to alter based on what we've seen in the NBA playoffs and leading into the finals matchup in that Western Conference finals, specifically San Antonio and OKC.
Yeah, this is the reason why y'all need to lock in to our channel and our channels, is because we talked about this before the draft even started, bro.
Yeah.
What did Denver need to do? They went out and they got Terrence Reed. You get a big body banger, a guy who can get on the boards, who can play defense, got some athleticism. Same thing with the San Antonio Spurs, Moss. The San Antonio Spurs get the big guy out of Kentucky, a guy who can bang, who can do the dirty work, who can free up Wemby. These are picks we talked about before one draft pick was made, brother. So this is why y'all need to lock in. But definitely, bro, I think Oklahoma City, I said last night in the group text, it got to be Ronald Reagan Republicans running Oklahoma City. It has to be. The rich get richer, right? What they were able to get, in another 7'3" big man to pair with Chet. That's just like when you get to the basket, you're gonna be welcomed by trees. Yeah. So I thought Oklahoma City did well. One of my favorite players in the draft, Yaxel Lindeborg. I thought he fits in very well with the Golden State Warriors, being a versatile guy who can switch off and guard smaller players and who can hit the three-point shot. He somewhat reminds me of Kenyon Martin, not the athleticism. He's not that athletic. We know Kenyon Martin was a freak of nature when it comes to athleticism, but his ability to switch and guard smaller players, he reminds me of him in that aspect. So a lot of great picks in this draft, bro.
Agree. Good evening, No Ego, man. We appreciate you, and shout out to you as well, sending you those flowers as we did with Timmy, man. Like, you guys been in here, man, from day one. It's like we made that change, and you guys is nonstop in here, coming in with the thoughts and the picks and updating us as we doing what we do, man. But I totally agree. And watching San Antonio and OKC as well as Denver get big, get brolic, you know, I think that's a big thing to look at. That West, you gotta have your vest on, you gotta have your armor, you gotta have everything. Anything you would like to say on that one, T1?
Nope, all good.
We got another comment coming in with Timmy. He said, I really like that Celtics pick. Celtics need a big man, and I was telling people they are not going to get rid of Brown because Brad Stevens loves the law firm Brown and Tatum. Ooh, I never thought about that, Post. The law firm Brown and Tatum. That's a nice. I like that. I like that. And as you said, Post, like, we've been talking about what teams need prior to the draft, and it's like we've been hitting on everything that's been happening. So for us, it's like, you know, we be in the chats and we be texting and laughing so much because it's things we sit and we talk about on a daily, man. It's things we talk about on a daily. Now, the next question I got up there for us. I know it's early. I know we only seen round one, ladies and gentlemen. It's only right. It's NBA draft nights 1 and 2. 1 is over. Top 5 got picked. Top 30 got picked, and they moving right now through the picks. Who's your early rookie of the year? I'm going to go with you first, T1. Who you got as your early candidate and rookie of the year?
I'm going to just have to go with Peterson because I don't have one, so I'm going to go with my Ohio kid who I thought was probably the most talented player in the draft. So I'm gonna go with Peterson.
I like it. What's your thoughts, Post? Who's your early or who's your rookie of the year? I'm not even gonna say it's early because you can only. I mean, you could continue to choose, but who's your thoughts? It's tough.
Tough, Moss. That is really tough because it's like who has the opportunity to put up those type of numbers. I like the Boozer and Edie pairing. We talk about setting the 4 and the 5 in Memphis. Can John Moret get himself back together? That could be a nice little sleeper team if they figure it out. We talk about AJ DeBansa going first. That team is kind of loaded. Now we know we know that ice tray. I gotta say this because we gotta keep it funky for the people.
Yes,
we
sir.
know that ice tray, the point guard for the Washington Wizards, is somewhat of a band-aid. He misses a lot of time. We know that Anthony Davis, the center for the Washington Wizards, is somewhat of a band-aid. He misses a lot of time. So if those guys are forced to miss a lot of time, and AJ DeBansa, they put the ball in his hand and say, young man, take us there. Take us there while these players is out. He can put up huge numbers. Now, Darren Peterson, on paper, I think he has the best opportunity to come in right away and maybe lead that Jazz team in scoring. I know marketing is there, but I think he's going to be a much better scorer than Lauri Markkanen. When you talk about Caleb Wilson, he has a chance to be Rookie of the Year. Keaton Wagler, he will have an opportunity to have the ball in his hand, especially if they trade Kawhi Leonard. So, man, there's so many options you can go with. I think Darius Acuff is in a really good situation in Sacramento. But if I have to say today who's going to be the Rookie of the Year, I'm gonna go with Peterson as well. And please, in the chat, man, let us know who your early Rookie of the Year would be.
Yeah, let us know. And man, we coming right to the questions because I got to get this off my chest. Oh, Peterson twice. Man, I wish it was more of the guys here on the team that to break this down because right now I know I'm gonna be out, man. Y'all know me, man. I'm so AJ, man. I'm AJ DeBansa, and I'm gonna tell you why. Like you said, I agree with you, Post. And then instead of saying a band-aid for Anthony Davis, it's one of the guys I like. I love Anthony Davis, one of my Kentucky guys, one of those one and done, championship, you name it. Anthony Davis is him. It is when he's hurt that he's not him. So I'm going to say if he don't have those crutches this season, I think Washington could be running the district in a whole different way. You haven't seen a playoff vibe in a while in Washington. And I'm talking about one of them vibes. You got Trae Young. If he could keep himself healthy. Anthony Davis could keep himself healthy. AJ DeBansa. They just got another Texas kid. Trey Johnson last year, pure shooter. You add AJ DeBansa, not to mention the other pieces you already have. I think AJ DeBansa's IQ, Trae Young, can average 10 to 15 assists a game with this team. If he passed first and know that his scoring ability could be something special as the season continues and let this team be this team, I think Washington can be a team in the East that could really compete. When you add a Giannis in that East with Miami, you already got New York doing what they're doing, not knowing if they're going to make some moves. I think the East is slowly trying to catch up. Go ahead, Postgame.
I don't mean to cut you off, my brother, but the Knicks just made their pick, and they picked up Bruce Thornton out of Ohio State.
Oh, wait, Bruce went.
Shout out to Bruce
Y'all
Thornton.
know I love it.
Yes, sir. What's your thoughts on that? We gonna come to you. We see you with the Buckeye, or we got to come to you, man. Shout out to your boy. Shout out to the hometown. Shout out to the Georgia product coming to the 614. We bending tonight, but shout out to you coming to the 614 and bringing some great things to Ohio State. That leading scorer, so much more. Thornton, what's your thoughts on that, T1?
Hey, I'm extremely proud for the young man. He gave us 4 great seasons. You know what I mean? Became the all-time leading scorer in Ohio State history. And that's only because he played all 4 years and he came in as a freshman and he produced. He put up points. He wasn't, just in there, 5, 7 points a game. He was making big shots, having big games as a freshman. And man, I am extremely proud for him, and to go that the first pick in the second round. I mean, that's almost just as good as in the first round. You know what I mean? So that just means he just missed that first round by a pick and could have went in the first round if it was somebody who really needed him. Now, I really would have probably liked to see him get picked up by Miami, but he would have slipped down a little bit. But his IQ is extremely high. He's a very strong and physical guard, and I like it. I thought New York was pretty good in the guard area. I don't know how he's going to fit in there, but he's a player that you can fit in, that you can bring off the bench, and he's going to run that offense for you. So I think it's a great pick.
Yeah, I think it's going to be some moves made. What was y'all anything to say about the comments? And we appreciate them as always coming in at Timmy188, Oklahoma's GMAT organization. Since they've been picking players, that GM is phenomenal, the best in the business. But I don't understand that Chet signing. Chet better come back with the heart and toughness. Go ahead, Post. What's your thoughts on that one? I know you want to talk about that one.
Yeah, I mean, the Oklahoma City general manager, what he's been doing is just nothing short of phenomenal, bro. I mean, they get the 7'3" center from Michigan, Mara. I think adding him with Chet potentially could be devastating. I mean, now you drive into the paint with some trees. You feel me? But as far as Chet, man, he similar to what Kobe did for Pau Gasol when Pau came to LA.
Yeah.
Kobe kind of infused him with insta heart. Yeah. He put that heart in him, and that made him a better player. Does Oklahoma City have someone to put that insta heart in a Chet? That remains to be seen, man. We're gonna find out. But as far as go ahead, bro.
Nah, you good. You good. I was just gonna say something after that.
But as far as the Knicks pick, first pick in the second round, I like the pick, man. I think your boy from Ohio State is extremely physical. He's a heavier guard. I think he's going to offer some scoring off the bench for the Knicks. So I like it.
Yeah, I agree, man. I think it's a great pick for him. I think when we all think about, and we talked about it as well, like you said before the draft, the things the Knicks would do coming into next season, I had to repeat. They will have to, of course, make some new additions. This is a great new addition, but also will moves be made? Definitely, I see moves being made when you bring in the Bruce Thornton. Go ahead.
My bad, bro. I don't mean to cut you off, but Parlay Poe is correct. He is traded to Houston, so he won't be a Knick.
So he going to Houston, and I seen that comment in there. We appreciate you on that buzzer, Parlay Poe. Make sure you go tap in to the Blissberg podcast channel on YouTube as well. That's our guy, Parlay Poe. He go blue. He's seen 3 of his boys get drafted. Morez going to Dallas, seeing his head coach get brought to the NBA. After a Natty champ, talk to us in the comments, Parlay Poe. What's your thoughts on Yax, Morez, as we was just speaking on Mara, Jordan Chet, and OKC? What's your thoughts on the things you've been seeing in this draft, as well as your Michigan team? Definitely give us your thoughts, because we coming straight at you as well, and we see the comments coming in. And I'm going to get to the one you had up there, No Ego. And you had the first one. The interesting thing is the media and the fans are saying that Wemby is trash, overrated. But you see teams grabbing bigs to match up with him. That's what we was talking about. You've been with us, and we've been talking about that. They have to compete. They got to match up with him, because following, next season, and I'm going to come right to you, Post, because I already know you about to cook on this one. They have to match up with him, because I see Wemby playing that 4, stretching out to where acquaintance could come off that injury and be a problem with that NBA training camp, that NBA workout, that offseason. That's something special when you playing with a team like San Antonio. We know what they organization do when they get Twin Towers. One year they develop, or that same year they win in a title. But I'm going to just say that for another day and let you cook, Post. What's your thoughts?
Yeah, I definitely think Nate Ament is a great pick, and I think he's a part of that future building block in Milwaukee. But I got a question for y'all.
Yeah.
Uh, would y'all have taken Michael Brown and Keaton Wagler over Darius Acuff?
Man. For me, I'm not gonna lie. I really fell in love with Michael Brown sooner than I did with Darius Acuff. Now, if Michael Brown did not have an injury when he did earlier this season, if you go back and really watch Michael Brown, I spoke on Fleming's as having that elevation as the season progressed, seeing what he could do. And I had to go back and really, look at things and look at him and look at Michael Brown. Michael Brown is special. When that kid has nothing wrong with his body, you talking about he could have easily been a top 3 pick if he could have played a whole season, possibly arguing for that number 1, number 2 pick. I really like Michael Brown Jr. I like that kid. I just think he's special. Now, Keaton Wagler, I think his height helps in the way he can make plays. I think the thing that hurts Acuff Jr. is his defense. We, talked about that. Me and Parlay Poe, I think his defense is the one thing that keeps him from being in that top 5. I think that's the only thing. But I honestly like Michael Brown Jr., man. I think he's special, and I think he's going to be a top pick that's a sleeper along with a few others, and we're going to get to those as well in this NBA draft.
I'll say they got picked back to back to back, so that kind of tells me that they're very similar, and they could have went in any type of order. That just so happens to be the order that it went. It looks like all 3 of those. Who would that be? I can't tell. Where did Keaton go? What is that? I can't see what that is, but I see Brooklyn and the Kings, but I can't tell.
Keaton Wagler went to the Clippers. He went 5th overall.
The Clippers.
Yep.
Yeah, so I mean, it looks like those 3 teams pretty much had those 3 guys probably even, and it was like, all right, if he's left, I'm taking him. If he's left, I'm taking him, and that's where it went. And they're all gonna get similar contracts, so I think it's good for all 3 of them. You know what I mean? Like I said, they could have went either way with those 3. It ain't like one of them went 4 or 5 picks later. They all went back to back to back. So that just means that all 3 of those teams had those 3 guards up high. They all wanted guards, and they wanted one of those guards. And who was ever available, they were going to get them according to their draft board.
Yeah, I get that. Here's the thing, though, because if you're a GM and you made those picks, you mentioned how they were clustered together, all 3 of them, right? You picked the wrong one. That's probably your job.
Yeah.
It's probably your job, bro.
Yeah.
But me personally, I think I only would have took Wagler ahead of Acuff. I think Wagler has tremendous upside, and I think they were mentioning this at the draft. But as soon as he steps in the gym, that's his shooting range, and plus he's a little bigger. I think he goes about round 6'6". So, I mean, the size, because Acuff is the smallest one out of those 3. The size might have been the difference.
Yeah, might have been a difference. And talking about that, we're going to go right into the next question. And we see those comments as well. When you talk about Wemby and him, some people feeling like he's, a dirty player. They think about, when you talk about Wemby, you talk about Shaq, things of that nature. Me personally, Shaquille O'Neal would be a different specimen. I've watched many videos of him running up and down that floor playing in Orlando. Shaq would just love to dunk on a kid like Wemby at this juncture, him playing in the playoffs type of. I mean, we honestly know the smoke that would come with playing against a Shaquille O'Neal and you 7'5". He's trying to put it on your head and pause, as a young crowd say, respectively, and dunk that ball, man, regardless. So I just think he got to grow. He'll understand a lot more, and some of that will tone down. But I think some of that could be coming from, where he played basketball. Playing overseas and playing in different countries, basketball sometimes is different. But we're going to come right to you and ask, who's your first round sleeper? Like when you think about round one, whether you the number one pick, whether you the 30th pick, it don't matter where you picked in this draft. Who's your round one sleeper? I'm coming to you, T1. I see you got your thinking cap on, man. I see you thinking. Who you got?
Man, I don't know, man. That's a good one. You might have to give me a couple more seconds to even think about that, because according to the press, I mean, there's just a whole lot of talent in this first round. So, what are you calling a sleeper? Like, who's a sleeper? Everybody out here is supposed to contribute from day one, with this being, as they were saying, like one of the most, talented and deepest drafts in a very, very long time. But
no, go ahead.
I don't know. I would take what's dude, the big guy from Michigan, a day.
Mar.
Yeah, Mar. I would take him, just thinking that he might be in a really, really great position to be able to do something that the other first rounders may not be able to do. So,
yeah.
And once these Michigan players get to the NBA, I don't have nothing against them. And big shout out to the Michigan fans. They had a great season, national champs, 3 players in a first round, basically 3 lottery picks. I mean, kudos.
Yeah,
but that's my sleeper.
And you talk about Mar T Wine. He's in a great situation in OKC, bro. Yeah. So that's a really good one. But for me, it's a lot. I'm gonna go with Cameron Carr for the Lakers. The reason why I like Cameron Carr for the Lakers, I think he brings a lot of what the Lakers are lacking. When you talk about athleticism, explosiveness. This is a guy who can jump to Mars if you let him do it, and he can shoot the 3-pointer. So a guy who can probably develop on the defensive end, become a really good defender, a guy who can dunk on the 7-footer's head. I like what the Lakers did in the first round. Again, the point guard or the guard from Baylor.
I like that. And
I like that. I like that too. And just to piggyback off of that real quick with post game, he has Showtime type talent. We're talking about that old Lakers Showtime. He has that type of talent and athleticism. So I like that one. I like that. I like that right there a lot.
I'm coming in. My bad. I hit the wrong comment. Coming in at Timmy's comment before I go with mine. He said his sleeper going to Parlay Pose team, the 27th pick, Chris Knack. We spoke about him a lot during the season over in Houston. Big man going to Boston. That's a great pick because he can come in and be effective right away. Like you spoke on Mara, he's in a situation at OKC. Some of these bigs are in places where they could possibly get those 6 to 7 boards as a rookie with the volume of shots that's going up. Get them a couple putbacks, make the best of their minutes as they did in college. So this is where that NBA workout comes into play in that off. Like right now, who's going to the gym right now? Who's hitting the weight room? Who was in the gym last night after the draft, waking up to watch round 2? These are the type of things you start to look at and think about that you'll see. So, for me, I'm going to go Michael Brown Jr. The reason I say this, we did not get to see Michael Brown Jr. last year. We saw a miniature dose of how special this kid really is. I know I spoke on Kingston Flemings. I know I spoke on so many players, but my sleeper why is because you're going to Brooklyn. Brooklyn haven't made a pick this high in quite a few, to where you sitting and you talking about it draft day, draft night, the next day, and a week later. I'm going Michael Brown because if you're talking about New York and it's not the Knicks, it's Michael Brown and the Brooklyn Nets. And I think when he goes to the Garden this season and play against New York, nothing more special than the Garden. And I think we're gonna see some great performances out of these players this year too. So I'm gonna go with Michael Brown Jr. I think he's special, 6'5", built already to where once that workout come, I think he's going to be a special kid down the road. I like him, and like I said, there's so many that could be sleepers, but I like him.
A lot of
What's your
upside,
thoughts,
Moss.
Post?
A
Yeah,
lot of upside. I like Brown as well. But you know what, bro? So, we talk about Sinek, the pick for the Boston Celtics. He was the reason I had Houston in the Final Four in my NCAA tournament bracket. I
yeah.
just loved his size, his versatility on the defensive end, being able to hit the boards, block shots. So I like the Sinek pick.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Hey,
Hey.
I think me and Moss's picks was better than y'all, so I'm just throwing that out. I mean, not Moss, my fault. I meant post game. I think me and post game's pick was better than y'all. So
Nah, I like it,
put that
man.
out there. I like me and post. I like me and post better.
I like that pick, and I think, you know, respectably, like you said, I was the same way. Like Kanak, I think when you think about that Houston team and what he brought to that team, he brought the physical nature, I mean, and he brought rebound, and he brought a IQ that you didn't see out of a lot of bigs in the Big 12. In college basketball, outside of a name like we talking about Carlos Boozer, and I'm glad you mentioned that because many people not really talking about Boozer, but talking about Connect. I think Connect, he's just a great player. I think he's going to be special, and we definitely going to have to watch him with, you know, that law firm you're talking about over there in Boston this year. Definitely going to have to keep an eye on him. And he said the brother you're talking about, Mike Brown, he could probably be rookie of the year because he's going to get enough playing time because the Brooklyn Nets are a Cancun type of team. Yeah, I'm telling you, man, he's slept on, and I've really been watching him. And if he wasn't hurt, I think that Louisville team would have definitely been a team that could have made a Sweet 16 appearance with him being actually healthy throughout the whole season. And I'm definitely seeing all the comments coming in as well. And we appreciate the new one tuning in, and that is Marcella is it Marcelka D's 8456, Michael Finley in the building. They've been hitting me with that since I was about 12, 14, man. I get it all the time.
Hey, let me go off of that
it.
last one. You took it off the screen, Moss. I don't mean to cut you off.
Nah, you good.
But you took it off the screen, and that's a real great point. And that plays a lot into who can be the rookie of the year. Yeah. How long is your leash? And if you go to a team like Brooklyn and you can put that ball into the basket, your leash may be a little longer, and you may have more opportunities than everybody else to showcase your skills and get some money. So that was a real good point right there about Mike Brown, which could like put him in position to be rookie of the year. So maybe me and Post Game's pick wasn't the best. I don't know, but who knows? We won't know until they put them unis on and we get to the end of the season. But that was a great point right there, my brother.
Yeah, and I think that goes to show, like when we talk about this 2026 draft class, we just spoke on a whole starting five that could be sleepers, and they picked in the first round. You know, and we still got a whole nother round that's going on right now. We're going to update you here in a few as we see Post doing this network and doing this thing over there. Anything you got to say, anything you seeing in the second round, Post, you know, take a few minutes if you need to. I mean, take a few seconds, and we're going to come to the people. Any thoughts as y'all are in the comments as well? We appreciate y'all tuning in. Talk to us about the draft if it's going on right now, because we watching it, but we trying to make sure we keeping y'all satisfied with what we doing. And we got more questions coming in as well, but I'm gonna go to you on that one, Post.
Yeah. How about Malik Thomas going to Sacramento with Darius Acuff? Your boy Moss Richie Saunders going from BYU going to Memphis. Some interesting picks in this second round. Trevon Brazile from Arkansas going to San Antonio.
Ooh.
So, San Antonio continues to get a little bit bigger, bro. The 6'10", 230-pound forward from Arkansas. So interesting picks.
Now we gonna come right to you. I'm gonna give you my thoughts real quick, Post, and I'm gonna come to you in T1. I'm gonna come to you first after that. That Brazile pick is a big pick. You talking about a player? One take, he spoke on him a lot. One take, he spoke on him, and we started watching on him. We kept locked in with him. This Arkansas team had a lot of pro-ready players, as we seen early in the season. And if you think about some of these players where they're getting picked right now, I think they're getting picked where they could fit, but I think it's going to be some transactions made on the trade side because of the greatness of this young core. As we seen, even though we're talking about the NBA, on the NFL side, with the money, with trades being made, different moves being made. So I think we're about to see that same thing with these draft picks that's being made. But Brazil going to San Antonio, they getting big, they getting stronger. IQ is heavy. I think this is just going to be a great season, 2026, 2027, a season you don't want to miss. Any thoughts on any of those players that you spoke on post? Then we're going to come right to you on that, City League.
Hey, yeah, my fault.
No, go ahead. We ain't gonna cut you off.
We do know that that 34th pick, which was Malik Thomas, y'all do know that was a trade, and he's actually going to Cleveland.
Ooh, we get to go see him.
I just saw that, T1.
In case y'all didn't know that, yeah.
Good call, man. I just saw that. Yeah,
that's
yeah.
Right.
And I like that. You know, we actually traded I believe it was a forward that we got in a first round. We traded that over to them, and I like this. Although I wanted bigs in Cleveland. I feel like our guard position isn't too bad, but it gets bad in the playoffs. So good pickup.
I like that. Anything you got on that post?
Yeah, when you speak about Cleveland, I heard Brian Windhorst talking about LeBron James could be traded to Cleveland for I forget the center's name in Cleveland. The Afro.
Big Josh Allen.
Josh Allen.
Well, it's almost a done deal. I think they're really just trying to figure out how they can make it work. I'm not so sure I don't understand why, because LeBron's supposed to have been able to, I believe he's supposed to have been able to opt out this year to where it didn't even have to be a trade. Like, he just go back to Cleveland and keep everybody there, and you know what I mean, pitch in however he could pitch in to try to help and get us over that hump if he can in year 37 or whatever year he's going to be in next year. But
57.
You know, yeah, I thought that he was able to walk away. You know what I mean? Because I thought he only signed 2 years with the option, and you know, I don't know why it would be a trade, but I would. Y'all see, it's not going to be Mobley. Y'all see, he didn't say it was going to be Mobley because Mobley has more athleticism than Allen. Allen is a big that can rebound and protect the rim and things like that, but Mobley can do a little bit of all of that and add something to the offensive end. So I wouldn't be overly upset with that trade, but I would be a little upset because Allen still has a lot in the tank. He's about in the prime of his career, and to trade something like that for a player who is this is the last year, and we want to hope and pray that he's able to finish out his last year as he did his previous years, and I wouldn't even bank on that.
Yeah, I'm gonna leave that comment there, and I'm gonna come to you since we're speaking on that. He said that's what Cleveland's needs. They got to get rid of James Harden. With all due respect, Malik Thomas remind me of someone a little more athletic and better than Derek White by White's IQ, but White's IQ is top notch. That's what he is saying. You're good on anything you
like say. That. He on point. He on point today. He cooking from the chat room today.
And shout out to Timmy.
I can't see. That's too small for me.
Timmy 18.
Timmy, hey Timmy, you cooking, bro? You cooking, man? Keep them coming.
Man, definitely, man. Anything you got to say on that one post game when you're speaking on Cleveland, when you're speaking on Harden, and when you said something about the Kings' arrival? Listen here, Mossberg been telling y'all that farewell tour it got to go through the 614. It's the only way that the king gets crowned king in a way that everyone wants to talk about, even at WTP. We see you. We know you watching, but definitely, man, I think you got to come through Ohio. What's your thoughts, Post?
Interesting, because with all the money the Lakers just ponied up for Reeves, where does that leave LeBron? And to what T1 was talking about, LeBron is a free agent. I think they were talking about him signing some
Yeah.
kind of deal and then being shipped off to Cleveland, but he could just sign with Cleveland
Yeah.
if that's the case. But I mean, I don't. It doesn't look too promising because I just don't know what the money situation is. How much money LeBron James is demanding? Because if he's demanding
He
a
don't
pot of
need
gold,
more, Post.
he don't need no more. But if he's demanding a pot of gold, he definitely won't get it from the Lakers.
Yeah.
But why would he in his last year? In his last year, that's what I'm just confused about. Like, and then like, bruh, you like about a billionaire. So what is it that the only thing that he can get right now is that curtain call, go back home, and don't touch the squad. You know what I mean? Don't touch the squad. Ain't nobody got to leave nowhere. Go on back home and let the NBA script you out something. And you see, we made it to the Eastern Conference Finals this year. So let them script it out for you to go and get to another finals, and maybe you can leave out on top. I really think that that's his best option for possibly leaving out with a ring. Is going back home to where you really don't have to do much. All you have to do is be LeBron and make sure that everybody is doing what they're supposed to be doing. Just being that extra coach, that extra motivator. Because as you see this year, we took that extra step. We was right there, but New York just was on fire for this whole playoff, and I talked about that, from the rip. But they was just on fire. We ran into a buzzsaw, and everybody ran into that New York buzzsaw. But we have a great core, and I would get rid of Harding, and LeBron shouldn't be asking for no lot of money right now, man. You good. Like, you good, man. Try to figure this thing out. Come on back home. And I really don't even feel like he can give as much as he would have been able to give even last year. You know what I mean? Because these years have to be taking a toll on his body. Like, nobody's played this long, and I already know next year we're gonna see him do some dunks and be like, how is he still up in the air that high? So come home, get your curtain call, and get up out of here, Bron.
Well, for me, we gonna wrap around. We gonna bring them back and give them some smoke on all that free agency. I think we're gonna dibble a little bit, and I'm gonna actually get y'all's thoughts on what y'all think with this 2026 draft class moving forward. What's key? Like, when you think about a draft class like LeBron James, Carmelo, Wade, Bosh, we know what they brought, to the table. Chris Paul, all those guys. Think about the draft class with Allen Iverson, Kobe Bryant, Ray Allen, all those guys from back then. You think about different draft classes with this 2026 draft class. What's key moving forward for this 2026 draft class? I'm gonna come to you first, Post. Don't matter what it is.
Moss, real quick, Moss. We got some trades that just went down.
We're gonna come to them trades.
Okay.
That's what I got Post
I thought
for.
we were sticking live with him. All right, go ahead.
Nah, we got it. He gonna come right into him because I see him looking at it. We're gonna come right to him. That's why we it's 614 bend. Because we bend the air.
Bend it up. Bend it up.
Come in, he about to bend it to you before he get right to his question. Go ahead and let him have it, Post.
Yeah, man, these young men have the opportunity of a lifetime. I remember, just being a kid in South Bend, Indiana, growing up. There wasn't a basketball teammate or even the guys who didn't play on the basketball team in school elementary school that didn't want to make it to the NBA. So you're in rare air. So I mean, these guys just got to continue to hone their craft, stay focused, don't fall in love with no strippers, no OnlyFan women. Keep your hands to yourself. Don't be racing. None of that stuff, man. Stay focused, hone your craft, and the sky's the limit for these young men.
Yes, sir. What's your thoughts, C1? We gonna hit you with them trades. Tell them about them trades that happened, and then go into your thoughts. What you
And
feel about?
I'm gonna hit the thoughts first, and post game hit it right on the head. Like the main thing, the key is for these dudes is to be humble, hit that weight room, stay in the gym, and just be locked in with basketball. Because if you're not locked in with basketball, you're gonna get your money and you're gonna fade out really, really quick. So just be locked in with basketball. Be locked all the way in. Like you say, stay out them strip clubs when y'all playing in Atlanta and all of this and all of that. Don't be trying to hang with the big dogs. The big dogs already got money and they got big money. Don't try to hang with the big dogs. I've heard stories about cats trying to hang out with the big dogs and your money ain't that long. You just now starting out. You got it, but it can go like really, really fast. And these guys got money to blow. You don't have it. Don't blow your money. Act like you still broke. I ain't got it. Practice that. I ain't got it. Practice that. I ain't got it. That's the key. I ain't got it. I'm working right now. That's what they got to do.
Yeah, man. I respect that. For me, just my thoughts. Well, we're gonna come to those trades real quick, T1. We can't. What's the trades that happen? We got to get them.
We got Bruce Thornton. First of all, he went from New York to Houston. Now he down there in Houston. They actually could have used with Van Pelt out last year. Houston could have used Thornton last year, and Thornton might have helped them out. Now that would have been if KD wasn't hurt and all of that stuff too. And then we have Isaiah Evans went from Brooklyn to Minnesota. So he went to Minnesota.
Ooh.
All right. And then we have Malik Thomas went from Sacramento to Cleveland. We already talked about that. So and Trayvon Brazil went from San Antonio to Denver.
Ooh. Wow, a lot of action and we spoke on this. I think we
got one more with OKC. OKC drafted Ryan Conwell, and they shipped him off to Miami. So a whole lot of trades in it at the top of this first round. It's like almost over half of the players got traded.
They getting the shooter for Giannis. Conwell's a great shooter. He could shoot that 3-ball. So Miami making moves to bring some of those shooters in, definitely for Giannis. And then for me, my thoughts, I think, just something for the 2026 draft class. When I think about it, like you guys said, man, piggybacking off of you both, just stay locked in, man. You've gotten to this point, this opportunity, it don't come for many. I think this is probably the biggest draft class that's been talked about from the first month of college basketball in history. We've been talking about this draft class since the first month of college basketball. I think everybody been anticipating what we are about to see and embark on the next generation of basketball with these guys coming in, along with the greats we've been seeing in these past few years. Brunson take over, Shai, Wemby, the passing of the torch, and then seeing Giannis rebirth himself, seeing Tatum and Brown, Anthony Edwards. I mean, I could go on and on throughout this list of greats. Kevin Durant, Steph Curry, seeing them as they, along with Bron, incline on, exiting the game. I think this torch that we watch and be passed, it's not for no one to hold they self. When we talk about, we seen Jordan, the Jordan era. We talk about the Kobe era. I think we looking at the era of basketball rebirthing itself with these young guys we got coming in. And I think what we already have, I think the competitive side is definitely back, and we seen it on the college level. So I think what we will be seeing, I want to see these kids just be themselves. be the family man you are already, and continue to be those family men. I know it's a lot on your shoulders. Be smart. Make sure you got that top-notch financial advisor. Listen to your parents. Take that advice from those that got you this far. Don't forget about them people. Outside of that, man, just do your job, which is the hoop, man. Get in the gym tonight when the draft is over. Hit that weight room, shoot some jump shots. Trust me, it's gonna work out. It could put you in a position to be rookie of the year. So, that's just some of my thoughts to those guys. Anything else you want to say? Any comments? I see we got some coming up, but anything else you want to say on that, as we come into these comments before we get up out of here this evening?
Hey, I'd like to say, what do y'all think about, now we talked about Miami getting a guard in the second round. So what do y'all think about who was that? Ryan Conwell and his chances of being able to help Miami out this season, right?
Go ahead, Post.
Well, he'll definitely be able to help them out as far as 3-point shooting. I believe right away. Miami has to accumulate some talent at the guard position to couple with Bam and Giannis. So I definitely think he'll be able to help the Miami Heat out as far as 3-point shooting goes immediately as this game develops.
I agree. I feel the same way when you look at the roster that Miami has, when you unload the type of players you unloaded, respectively, Hero, along with draft picks, and seeing what Milwaukee got through the draft. And you have to, accommodate that with shooting and players. You're going to have to find you another two-way possibly. But they definitely have some young talent already that can shoot the ball. It's what are you doing in the offseason? This is going to be a year where we look at a lot of offseason work. You could tell what players and what teams did their due diligence in getting that time in the gym, because it's going to transpire and put that energy is going to come to the court. You're going to see it throughout the season, and you'll see a whole new list of teams, whether it's a play-in, whether it's playoff, conference finals on the Eastern or Western, and NBA finals, like we've seen, over the last couple of years. No repeat, but just different teams battling for that top notch. And Brunson takeover in New York City, they came alive this year. So, for me, I'm definitely anticipating this season. And no ego. Appreciate you and Timmy 18188, as well as everybody else tuning in. And he said Houston is done. They're putting too much stock in Van Fleet, and Sengun has been figured out by the league, and I predict them to be a playing team next year.
Houston just drafted another guard. They just drafted another guard, as if, I guess, Houston feels like they're good with the big. And this guard is bigger than Bruce. He's, I believe it said he was either, they said he was 6'4", maybe 6'4", 6'5".
Yeah, appreciate the comment as well, Timmy. He said he had to get up out of here. He said hit the like button, on target, on point. Check over here back to the regular scheduled program. Let's go, WTP Sports, man. We appreciate you. You and No Ego, along with everybody else that's tuning in this evening. And we definitely send those shout outs, man, every time you guys come on, man. Without you guys, some of the comments, man, these comments that you guys come in, and even questions be banging. Mr. Mazzano, we appreciate you tuning in with us as well this evening. And we definitely want to get you on for a Miami Heat talk, with y'all getting that new edition with Giannis, Miami Dolphins, Miami Hurricanes. We're going to go so Miami with you that you're going to have a whole new 3-subject notebook, because we're going to be ready for you in that conversation and those talks as well. So for me, make sure you go check out WTPSportsDudes.com, and I'm going to bring it to Post. Then I'm going to go to City League with final comments, anything else y'all want to say, anything that's going on before we get out of here for the people this evening.
Yeah, how about Braden Smith, man, going to Indianapolis with the Pacers, man? I love that pickup.
Big deal, big deal. Braden Smith brings the point guard energy, something that they've truly been needing. And I believe they still have Pascal Siakam over there. Indiana was right there on the verge of doing some major things before the Halliburton injury. So Holly will be back. Halliburton will be back, and we know what he done before the injury. So it's just gonna be good to see this 2026, 2027 NBA season. A lot of players becoming healthy, a lot of players getting drafted to state their name in the NBA history. A lot of things going on right now as we speak. Anything you would want to say to the people, T1 City League TV, ask somebody else.
Really, just so I said that guard that got drafted by Houston was traded over to New York. So I guess that was a swap that Houston and New York did with Thornton going to Houston, and Jack Kale went over to New York, the bigger guard. That's how I was like confused, like why would Houston draft two guards? You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And so the guard from Germany, he went to New York, so he's not. So Houston didn't draft two guards. So,
Okay.
but other than that, I'm predicting a whole lot more, and I can already see that it do. Like Miami is coming up with 11 pick in a second round, but they've traded that to OKC. So
Mm.
I don't know if they just swapped out spot. And I'm trying to look. I'm trying to look and see if no, they didn't. So yeah, a lot of trades going on in this second round, and really for real, if you get drafted in the second round, like you're not guaranteed a spot. So second rounders aren't guaranteed a spot. They're gonna have to earn it because there's still
That work.
players in the league that's trying to, make sure that they still have a roster spot. So, and I'm seeing a lot of trades, and yeah, good draft so far. Like I said, I'm just looking forward to seeing how these players transition over into the NBA.
I know you had the likes of Koa Pete post. I ain't trying to take up too much of people's time tonight, but I want to get a people a dose of what we've been talking about. So when they go back and understand why we're talking about certain players, your man Koa Pete from Arizona, he got picked up. Then your man Braden Burries got picked up, from Arizona. You spoke highly on those guys. Anything you want to say about those guys, as well as anybody else, before we step a stool and get to that draft round 2?
Yeah, I think Cole Pete should have went back to college, bro. I know he got picked in the first round, last pick of the first round, but I think his game still has a lot of development to be done. He has to be developed a lot. I think he's a talent. I like his size. He got tremendous arm length. I would have went back to college for one more season. We seen Yaxo. He played 4 or 5 years of college, maybe even more than that, and he was still a lottery pick. So, I mean, I think one more year of college would have did Cole Pete some good. But Braden Burry is off to the races.
Yeah, yeah. I like that kid, man. It was good to see the first Mexican born go in that NBA, man. That first round, seeing the big Kareem Lopez, man. Shout out to Mexico. I know we got FIBA going on. They cheering on a FIBA team so they can cheer on their new firstborn NBA player as well. And T1 City League. I know we was beyond excited last night. You was there live with me. We seen the draft selection number 15 straight out of C Bus, man. Give me your thoughts on this, man, because for me, it was personal. My nephew played with him growing up young. Everything, with that type of relationship. My sisters and brothers went to school with his mom. And when you see someone you grow up with and you see them, that's a next step in life. Man, shout out to the Swain family, everything you do, man, Dalen. And, it's all love from this Moss family, man. Straight up. What's your thoughts on that, C1? I know you got much more to say.
Hey, City League TV was in the building. I mean, we was watching this young man as he was working on his skills to get to the next level, which is college, with the dreams of getting to the NBA. So, and that's one of the great things about this City League TV thing, just watching these players grow and develop. And although we don't get a lot of them, going off to the NBA, but we get enough of them going off to the next level at college. And every once in a while, like we just had the opportunity for yesterday, every once in a while, somebody get to make it. You know what I mean? So that's why these kids, you have to keep working. Although you have like a 1 in a 2 million of a chance. Like they say 1 million, but I'm gonna hit it for 2 million if you from Columbus. You know what I mean? Because the odds are against you just a little bit more, and you got to work a little harder because you just got to work hard on being alive here in the city. If you messing around with the wrong crowd, so that's something also that young athletes have to understand and do. They have to understand that outside world influence your chance to be greater, your chance to get better, your chance to be able to receive a full scholarship off to a college that will give you the opportunity to go to the next level. So big props out to Dalen Swain. And like, man, I was extremely happy last night. I was extremely happy last night. I was extremely happy to really be a part of the journey because, like I said, I City League. I did a whole lot of Afrocentric games because my daughter was going to Afrocentric at the time, so I did a whole lot of Afrocentric games on City League TV. I was a little biased, but it's okay. I got a little bit of Afrocentric blood in my veins, so it's all good. And big shout out to his entire family. And I was just glad that I was in the building last night, and I was
Yes, sir.
glad to see my WTP sport as well.
Yes, sir. And shout out to at your name 616935. Said, yo, can I get a shout out? I'm subbed, man. Always get a shout out, even if you tap into
Shout
the
out.
comments. But we appreciate you not only tapping into the comments, but hitting the like and subscribe. And make sure you go like and subscribe to everything that you see down low. Post, I see you back in the building. Busy, man. When I say this 614 Ben wouldn't be bending on the 614 side without you, man. All the nights we have sitting up making this conversation, making these shows what they are, man. The 614 Ben wouldn't be what it is without you, man. And for T1 stepping in the building tonight, he said, Mossberg, make sure you hit me. Make sure you hit me because I'm going to be in. I'm going to make sure that I'm trying to stay locked in and tuned in. So you, my man, you get much appreciation as well for being here with us
Appreciate it.
tonight and making that 614 Ben, because the 614 is you too. You part of that 614. Slide your face a little bit to the right because you do diagonal right now. But nah, we just greatly appreciate everyone tuning in, man. When I say make sure you go like and subscribe to all the channels at WTP for Life, that's WTP Sports Dudes. You got SEC Sean. You got some NASCAR you could go check out when you get a chance. You got City League TV. You got Post Game Sports 86. That's Post Game Sports 86 in the South Bend. Then you got One Take Zay. You got Parlay Poet Blitzberg in the building. You got myself, Mossberg, Level Up Sports 10, right here, live and direct. And then John O'Connor, we appreciate you. John Connor, we appreciate you for 330 coming in and hitting us with that. Jalen got traded to Orlando. Big news coming in as we speak, and I'm speaking on what Mr. John Connor hit me with.
No,
But outside of that,
I think he was asking.
did
I
he
don't think
said
Jalen. The
got
only
traded?
person only person I seen got traded was Isaiah Stewart.
Okay, I was about to say, I think it's a lot of stuff swirling about Jalen Duran, John Murray. It's just a lot of stuff going on, and when we spoke about the transactions, it's still a lot that could happen as well. So, anything we just be getting cranked up and cooking up. Anything else you want to tell them before we go? Tell them about what you do and what you got going tomorrow.
Yeah, just real quick, I want to say it's going to be interested to see where Jaden Bradley, Emmanuel Sharp, and Toby Awaka from Arizona is going to be ended up after tonight. those are some under the radar players as far as the NBA goes. But no, I want to give a shout out to the chat. Thank y'all for supporting us. Continue to support us. Hit that like button, share our videos, sub to the channel, hit that notification bell so you know when we dropping jewels. And just make sure y'all back in the building tomorrow night, 7:45 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We're going to be back cooking.
We're going to be doing what it do, man. Back cooking, 614 Ben on Wednesday. You get to see my man over here. And I'm pointing in the right direction, but I'm pointing all the way to Indy in the Midwest to my man Post Game, man. When I say he do what he do, make sure y'all go check out that page. Make sure y'all go like the videos. Y'all watch the videos. Because when I say the cook up is real over there, the cook up is real. But as for Mossberg, we about to get up out of here because we got to get on some of this stuff that's going on right now in day 2 of the draft so we can bring y'all some more smoke on a cook up tomorrow and do what we do best. But other than that, man, Post, you already know, man. It's mad love from here, from 614 all the way to South Bend, man. And I can't wait till I'm knocking at your door with my book bag and my carry-on luggage saying, hey, what we doing this weekend? What time the game on? Where the party's at? What we doing, man? Because I'm definitely coming to South Bend this year for the football game, and I'm definitely going to come and meet you personally outside of what we do, unlike last year with the busyness. So for sure, man, I appreciate you. And like he said, man, we appreciate everybody in the chat. So make sure you go check us out, WTPSportsDudes.com. You can get all about us, and you could just make sure you email us, and we could bring you on. We could bring you on, and have that talk, and have you on with the team, doing what we do right here every night. So much love, and we up out of here, man. As we always say, T1, he left, but we could take it out for him. We was in the building, and now we out. Peace.